Hello there. Here we are again. This is the Greeble pack generator for ZBrush 4R7 version 2.0. And today I'm going to go over a quick demo of how to work the pack and create some textures, and then I will show you an example, or I will do a quick demo for you of how to apply the Greeble texture to a model. And for some of you who don't know what Greeble is, it was a term coined by ILM when they originally did Star Wars. And basically it is the extra detail on ships that, just small nuances and on the surface of the ship. Basically you get all these panels and pipes and stuff like that, basically to make a flat surface look more appealing. And I guess someone around there coined it as Greeble. And so that's what we're going to generate today. We're going to generate some textures to create some more surface information than what's already there. And so, as you can see behind here, there's several different Greebles here, and I'll pull up a video real quick demonstrating some of the different settings, and you can see the multiple variations that you can make with this. I mean, I haven't done the math, but I know it's in the millions of variations that you can make with this relatively small file size pack. And it's really customizable. You can even add your own Greebles to it. You can modify the ones that are in there. I mean, this is for you guys. I originally built it for myself to create some displacements, and so I'm sharing it with everybody here, and today we're going to go over it, and I'm going to show you how to work it, and then at the end of the video I will show you how to apply Greeble. And here's a video of one that I did earlier today, and I'm going to let you guys have this little tech ball to play with, and I'll show you the process of applying the Greeble to it and to give it this nice gnarly look to it. And basically, so back to the whole definition of Greeble. Greeble is just all this extra information that's like here in this panel here, and this panel here, here. And whereas if the texture and the displacement map wasn't there, it'd just be just a super smooth curved surface, and it just really kind of look a little boring. So we're going to spice it up a bit. So for starters, if you haven't done so already, we need to go to ZBrush Central, go to the Greeble pack, and I will supply the link in the descriptions here for you if you don't already know about it or you don't already have it. So I need to go down to post 36. This is the second version. There's a couple minor updates above this, but you want this version here. And you can download just the Greeble pack, or you can download the Greeble 1024 by 1024. It's a project file with the Greebles already installed, and it's already got all my render settings already set up for you, so it's just quick and easy for your workflow. And then right below that is the tech ball that I told you about. So today we're going to download the project file. Let me save this in the spot I can find it. Alright. And download the tech ball. Figured I'd download it here so I can show you how quick and easy it is. So we just need to go to my desktop real quick where I have it saved, and we need to extract the files. So we'll extract the project file. Extract it. Okay, that's ready. And now our tech ball, get him out there. Extract. Okay. Alright, shut everybody down there. Now let's go into ZBrush and have some fun. Alright, so this is your typical ZBrush basic opening menu here. We just want to close that preview or spotlight, hit comma, that'll close that window there. And let's go ahead and open up our project file. Let's do File, Open, if you're not familiar with how to do project files. And we go to our download destination here. Open it up. It'll take just a few seconds, load it up. And there we go. Now, the biggest reason I did the project file is I've kind of tweaked some of the render properties. It does have ambient occlusion. I brought the vibrant shadows up. Also played with BPR ambient occlusion. Tweak that a little bit. It needs some fine tuning, so it's not perfect, but I'm pretty happy with the results so far. Even tweaked the shadow a bit. And also, when we do our BPR, I do have a BPR filter attached to it, and all it is a gamma in the shadows, and just to bring so we don't hit pure black with the texture, because you never want to hit pure black with the texture, especially with ZBrush, because ZBrush treats pure black and textures as transparent, especially when you have a displacement applied to it. Even without it, so you'll have holes all throughout your mesh. So we definitely want to have that gamma filter on there. It doesn't make a whole lot of difference, but just enough to bring your blacks out of pure black. Alrighty, so let's go over to what you've been waiting for here, and we will open up our Greeble pack. Alright, it's composed of 9 subtools. 1 through 6 is basically, let me solo this here, is basically just kind of the backdrop to everything. And let me open up NanoMesh here so we can see our properties. And basically all you really need to look at when you come in here is whether it's turned on or off. And random seed, you can mess with the H-tile a bit, the pattern, and flip H, flip V. I wouldn't worry about any of the other options. I kind of tweaked them as best I could to make sure they kind of interact well with the extra add-ons. So we can just go in here and you can see it's generating random objects throughout our whole document there. And this is just kind of, I've learned that you want to build these Greebles up in layers. So we've got these 6 different backdrops that we can use. And I kind of prefer just using one of those Greeble 1 through 6s at a time. I don't usually have all of them on at the same time. You can if you want. And so I'm going to turn the first one off, and then it just goes back to the original plane that it was on. And that's all it's generating that all those Greebles or panels on. So let's go to our second one. I can show you what that looks like. And if you need to get to a subtool without digging through your subtool menu, hit in, and then click the subtool you want. So we want Greeble 2. Okay, it's a blank slate. Well, all the other ones have been turned off. So let me turn it back on. Here now we have our panels with bolt holes and everything in there. Same thing applies. You can hit random seed and find a nice one that you like. If you notice how they are now different colorization in them, that's due to adjusted intensity and adjust variations. And all I did to start that whole process is, if you're on black and white for your startup colors, just hit UI color, and it'll take that white color and place it on there, and then you just adjust your intensity and variations. So you can dial that back, lower the intensity, or the adjust variations, and then you can crank that all the way over to the -1 if you wanted to. Yeah, and just, like I said, there's so many options in here. I'm going to turn him off. I'm going to go to Greeble 3 so you can see what he looks like. Turn him on. So he's got a little more variations in him. Greeble 3 through 6 are kind of heavy, especially when it's generating it, because right now it's working with like over 1 million vertices when it generates this. So if you notice it kind of be sluggish, that's why it's doing that. So like I said, 3 through 6 have a tendency to be a little sluggish. So let's go on to Greeble 4. You can see that one. Turn him off. Go to Greeble 5. Turn him on so you can see what he looks like. Kind of slight variations of 3 through 6 are kind of the same, and really I just changed up the pattern a little bit. So we'll move on to our last one, Greeble 6. Turn him on. So, you can easily generate something in there. total, I mean, just crazy amount of randomization that you can put into this. And it's just, a lot of it's just controlled by this random seed. So, I'm going to turn him off for a minute, and let's go explore the accessory packs. Now, the last three packs have 3 nanomeshes built into them. Okay, if you come up here in your nanomesh panel, you'll see index 2, 1, and 0. Each one of those is a unique pipe set. So 0 are the small ones in the far background. And you can change them around. You can even hit flip H if you want. Yeah, you can even adjust the pattern. And you can do all those different tweaking on every single Greeble. Even the 1 through 6 you can change. So let's go over to 2 or index 1. And you can random seed. You can see which ones are being affected there. They're kind of in the middle ground there. And then we go to our last one, and that one is controlling the big pipes up front. Sometimes they do drop below the other ones, so which makes it really nice. So now we're going to move on to the block party pack. I know, kind of funny, right? Well, I figured they're blocking most of the Greeble, so block party sounded like a good name to me, so I went with it. So index 0 is manipulating this kind of keyboard one in here. Just kind of looked like a keyboard, but it's kind of interesting. It adds a whole lot of dimensionality to your Greeble. So, and then the final one is, or the last two are the large blockers. But 9 times out of 10, you're still going to see back through them, and you're going to see the pipes, and the pipes will interact every once in a while with these guys, so it's kind of neat to see them protruding into them. And then now we'll go to the last one. You can see him there. Alright, so now let's go to the bolts pack. Okay, and it was just a couple quick tries to try to simulate bolts on the top of the surface. It's not perfect, but it still adds a little bit of variation to it. And if you notice in this one, I've got hide others in there. If you click that off, it sees all 3 different ones. I usually like to just have the one on. So we'll go to index 1 there so you can see. So just a couple different patterns. Sometimes they work well, sometimes they don't work too well. So it's entirely up to you. You can just turn them off and leave them off. It's entirely up to you. So let's make a Greeble. How about it? Alright, we'll click solo off. And I'm going to go all the way to the last bolt pattern there. And let's initiate Greeble 2. That's kind of one of my favorites. So, because it's got all those bolts and holes on there, and it just adds so much to it. So we cycle through it real quick. Get a little diversification in color there. Alright, so now let's go to the pipes pack. I'm already kind of liking the small ones there, how they overlap each other, go in and out of even the back panels. So I'm kind of liking that. Let's see what we can do with index 1 on that. Alright, kind of going above and below. That's good. So you can even see part of the pipe right there that comes up here. Alright, I don't know about you. I'm kind of happy with this one, so I'm going to say let's go ahead and BPR. Give it a second here. It does take a little bit longer because the ambient occlusion in there, but the results are a whole lot better. So probably in total, probably about a 30-second render, at least for my machine. So let me go back to actual size here so you can see it. There is a little bit abandoned still with AO. Haven't quite nailed that one down without creating like a half-hour long render for 1024 by 1024, which I don't really want. But I don't know. I'll have to tweak it and then I'll let you guys know. So, alright. Just real quick here. Let me change one of these. Let me change. Okay, I'm going to change them real quick. I want to show you something. I'm going to do BPR one more time and see. Yeah. Okay. It's a little thing with ZBrush. Okay, if you notice right here, we've got this shadow. That is the AO channel. For some reason with nanomeshes, it does not register when you change the nanomesh. It only registers if you've altered the mesh below it, the actual supported mesh. So what you have to do, make sure you're zoomed all the way out and you're just seeing your square there. Hit frame, frame, and now BPR it. Now it's going to recalculate the AO information for you. I don't know if it's just a little quirk. Maybe they'll fix that in a future update. I know they are working on an update. How long it's going to be, I don't know. Otherwise, there's a quick workaround for you. So here we are, almost done with it. There we go. Our little ghost image, ghost pipe is gone. Okay, so I'm happy with this. We're going to move on here. So go to Actual, and then hit File. Not File, we want Document. Export it. We're going to export it as a TIFF. I'm going to put it in my little demo folder here. Now, some of you are probably saying, well, why didn't you just do a render? Why didn't you pull the shaded out of the render pass? One reason. Whenever you pull shaded out of a render pass, it doesn't apply BPR to it, the BPR filters. I kind of wish they would, or give that property, or maybe I'm just missing the button somewhere to allow it to do that, but it doesn't apply that, it doesn't apply it to it. So I'll show you the difference real quick. So since it calls it something differently, and we'll see if that, I'll show you, trust me. So we also want to click out our depth here, make sure that's a TIFF. The only reason I save as TIFF is because it's, any 3D package will be able to read a TIFF. Not all 3D packages can read a PSD, which is a Photoshop file. So, now, let us make, well, we don't have to make one. So, I'm going to zoom out real quick, and let's load up our tech ball real quick. Alrighty, I'm going to turn Polyframe on there. We'll zoom in actual now so we can see this guy. Looks kind of funny. Looks like some crazy dude with sunglasses and mohawk on there. I don't know. Kind of weird, I know, right? And we want to go into our geometry, not geometry. We go down to UV first. We want to apply UV map. 4096, drop the border to 0, and go under create. And we are going to do PUV tile, okay? And that's just packed UV. It's just a form of UV mapping, and didn't really notice anything happen. I'll show you real quick what it did. Now hit auto group with UV. Now you can see all this crazy polygroups and stuff like that. Well, that's how it mapped the surface of your little tech ball here. So now hit divide, divide. So we subdivided twice. We're about almost 40,000 points, so I think we're going to be okay there. And then we're going to delete lower here. Now we got plenty of extra polygons in there. Go under edge loop in your geometry tab. Do groups to 1. G polish off, triangle off. Now hit group loops. Boom. Now we've got all this crazy looping going around every single one of our polygroups. So now do a Control Shift, click on that new polygroup there. Now we want to do crisp on the edge loop here. Let's go 0.06 and see how this is going to look for us. And now hit edge loop. Now you can see it protruded out there. I'm going to go up to 0.08 there. See, make sure that's not too extreme. It's always going to be dependent on the size of your model within the ZBrush space, on how it projects that out. So, and the nice thing about clicking crisp on there is it put, if I zoom in real fast, you can see it put a crease edge on all the loops. So this way it's going to kind of hold that shape whenever you subdivide. So let's go frame it, and Control Shift, click outside your model. And now we got everybody back. And real quick, under crease, I should have done this prior, but it's okay. Hit crease polygroup. Now every polygroup in here has got a crease around it, so it's going to kind of hold that shape as we go. And let me turn the polyframe off so you can kind of see this shaded. Under deformation, do a polish by groups. Let's just do about a 10 here. Okay, now you can see it kind of took a lot of the sharp edges, sharp corners off of everything, and which is kind of nice. You know, sometimes the sharp edges can be a little distracting. So, now, let's go ahead and apply our texture map. Go under texture, and we're going to load up our import. Actually, let's do it through our texture panel real quick. That's why I can import both. So let's go ahead and import both of them. Okay. Now, let me see. I want to try that with you guys. Let's do that BPR render I told you not to really do. Okay. First, you can see there's a lot of black on here on those edge loops we put around there. The reason for that is there is no UV mapping information to it, because we generated it after we created the UV map. It doesn't do it automatically. So what we want to do is this time hit Group UV. May take a second or so to generate that one. Takes a little longer than PUV. Now everybody is happy. So, wanted to see if there was any pure black in that texture. Sometimes I get away with not having any pure black. But like I warned you earlier, you will get pure black every once in a while, just depending on how the renderer was set up. So I think we did okay this time. But I would just stick with make sure you export your document instead of your actual BPR shaded pass. So that's my advice, and I'm sticking with it. Now, okay, now you can see that we've added detail to it, but it's looking still kind of blah. So it's not quite enough for me. So let's go under the H repeat under the UV map, hit 4, 8, and let's drop him back to 6. There. Alrighty, I think. Let's do 3. Alright. Okay, I think I'm good with that. So you'll have to fiddle with that, see what kind of look you really like. I mean, it is dynamic. You can watch it do it. So you can tweak it to your heart's content there. We'll go with him. He's kind of an odd number, but it'll work. So that's just adding more variety to it. So now let's go frame him up here, and we will go to displacement, and we will have to load a displacement. And you're looking for your BPR depth. Boom. All right, nothing's happened quite yet. Let's zoom in. Now let's up our intensity. There we go. Now we are seeing something happen with our brand new Greeble that we added here. And actually, let's see. I think, yeah, as you can see right here, see how it has a black, or it has, you can see through it. So we did generate some pure black in there. So let me go to texture map and see what happens if I change it to the ZBrush document. Nothing. It's kind of weird. Could be with the displacement. I'm not sure. Someone will figure it out for me, because it's a pretty open group and everyone is always happy to contribute, and that's why I'm doing this Greeble pack for you guys. So let's do a quick test render here, see how he looks. Nice. That's a whole lot better. Let's take displacement off and texture off. So much difference out of that one little map. It's just beautiful. And always make sure you click that anti-aliased on there in case there's any stretching of the of the texture, which does happen, as you can see on that curved surface, because that was supposed to be a straight line, but it is actually curved. So that'll kind of take away some of the jagginess of everything. So, and then we'll turn our displacement back on. Pretty spiffy. Let me zoom in, do a quick last render for you. And closer you do get, longer the render time is. And of course right now I'm still using the ambient occlusion from our original file, so yeah, it may take a sec. That's pretty cool. You can even click on mode and it will physically displace the model. As you can see, now you can see it really protruding out here. Let me do a quick render here and see how that looks for you. I'll be back in a second when it's done rendering. Okay, that took about a minute to render there. And you can see it physically protruded it out this time. If you take mode off, it doesn't physically protrude anymore. Basically, we're just using it as a bump map. So that is about it for the demonstration there. I've had a lot of fun putting this together there for you guys, and I hope you enjoy. And please post your results on my ZBrush thread or comment in the comments below. And thanks, guys. Have a good night.